Hey, good morning, guys. My apologies for being late today. I could blame YouTube or I could take accountability, so I'll take accountability. I overslept. Getting up at 4 is a nightmare. And the night before, I had hot chocolate. Too late, man. It was like loaded up with caffeine. No sleep, zero sleep. I played catch up last night. That's my tale of woe. I apologize. And thanks for being here, MacArthur. I don't know whether or not you're still here. Hope you are. Good morning, Bob. You nailed yesterday's market analysis in the morning. Your insights on silver made lots of sense. Blew me away. Thank you very much. Wall Street Spats have some really smart technical members, and they have heavy gonads for targeting the hedge hogs, but still seems like there's more to come. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go after the silver market. The silver market is way too big. That was a big scam. That was perpetrated by the the hedge funds, the banks that owned the SLV and the futures, because you could. I mentioned on Sunday Night Futures Live what happened with the dollar last month on a monthly time frame is that it flashed a bullish reversal bar, very bullish reversal bar. Doesn't mean it's going to the moon, but it means a high probability. The coffee is good, yeah. uh, there's a high probability of the dollar seeing a continuation breakout, silver rallying and holding that rally in the face of a dollar breakout. I don't think so. So yesterday was the outcome of something that was highly illogical. Okay, what we're going to go over today are the pre-market futures. We'll do some chart requests, but first, as always, we talk about our partners over at TrendSpider. TrendSpider is the next level in automated technical analysis. Automate your grunt work, find winning chart setups, time your trades with precisions by using alerts, and that helps improve your accuracy. And one of the primary things that I love about TrendSpider, you'll see me use it all the time when I'm analyzing charts, is the speed of analysis without forsaking the improvement of my accuracy. So 35% discount code below. Cheapest price on the web. There is a link to go over and explore, watch the demo tour. They have a 7-day free trial offer. And that's my pitch. TrendSpider. It really is. I use it all the time. Folks will see me use it today. So let's get to the pre-market activity. All right, so I went to bed last night. Silver was rallying back, and went up as high. This is the AGQ of which we're long. AGQ was up as high as 51.46. Gave it all up. Why did it rally? Look no further than the U.S. dollar. It pulled back. In fact, on a 4-hour chart, it looked ominous. I'm rather surprised it was able to make this comeback. But the question is, do we fade? Do we put in a lower high? You could see we already tried to take out the prior high, but it was rejected. This is the key here. If you're wondering why I'm spending so much time on the dollar is key to a rally in gold and silver. If the strength continues, expect, at the very least, lethargic trade on gold and silver. At the most, you'll see, I think I got that backwards, but you'll see a pullback. At worst, you'll get a pullback. At best, you'll get lethargic trade. There you go. I got it. Still very early. I literally just rolled out of bed, sipping coffee. All right. What else do we have here? Check out gold. Gold weak, getting weaker. Well, it's up, but I mean, if the dollar breaks down, I'm pretty confident that this is going lower. If the dollar holds and rolls over, well, then we may have a W formation forming. And that's good. That's a good thing. Let's stick with commodities for a minute. Natural gas pulled back, holding support. It hit those two support levels. We spoke about this yesterday. I laid out two scenarios in which you could look to get long of natural gas. One is if we hit primary support level number 1, or better, number 2. We hit both. And we have now rallied to recapture. Nat gas looking very, very interesting daily chart. Yeah. So it looks as though we're going to go here on nat gas. If you're using a end of day chart to look at this right now, it's not going to look the same. This is including the pre-market activity, unless, of course, you're using one that includes the pre-market activity. Stockcharts.com does not do that except for crypto. Let's go back. Let's look at copper. Any signs of global growth? Nope. Rounding top. Trying to fight back. Lethargic. Let's check out silver spot. The biggest scam I've ever seen. So in your face. The chatter about Wall Street bets trying to squeeze silver. Okay. So we're in a very tight wedge formation, which is going to get resolved pretty quick. What I want to know is this. Keep it really simple. There you go. Silver. And we're good to go. All right, that'll fire off. Let us know. We're either money good or, oops, we're going down. Check out agriculture. Then we're going to go to equities. Ag is pulling back. I'm not going to go through all these. They're all pretty weak of late. Let's go to the Russell 2000. Now, the Russell 2000, this is a 4-hour chart. The Russell 2000 broke down below a lower band of support yesterday. No follow-through to the downside. So not a horrible event, but one that should be looked at through the lens of what's going on here. Here was the close yesterday. It was not pretty. We have not taken out the highs. So what I want to know is, do we begin to put in lower highs and lower lows? All right, we're good to go. back to the 4-hour. NASDAQ 100. All right, so we had the Google that popped up higher yesterday. Very strong results. Amazon, extremely volatile. In fact, let's take a look at both of those. Before we leave here, we too broke down on the NASDAQ 4-hour time frame yesterday. Or overnight, I should say. Not yesterday. Earlier this morning. So let's take a peek at Google, Amazon, or Alphabet. Why are they not up here? I had them up here. All right, so Google holding gains, very strong rally. AMZN. You could see the volatility after hours. Jeff Bezos stepping down as CEO. I'm sure he'll stay on as chairman. This is not a bad setup here. I mean, it looks pretty good. 33.80 to close. We closed on this, but this candlestick here, how much volume is in this candlestick? Not much. 9,300 shares. So if this is a setup for a possible continuation breakout here, now what I'd be curious in is if we fail. You can see the way I'm thinking right now is my mind is to the short side. I'm looking for short opportunities. I'm not saying short Amazon or Google, but if they go on strong earnings, I suspect that weaker names will fall prior to them. I shouldn't say breakdown. Okay. What else we got? Where are my S&Ps? Where are my S&Ps? Okay. This is so sloppy. I gotta clean this up. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. Let's revamp this. Okay. Something wrong with Thinkorswim lately. It's either that or it's my mouse. Okay. So our approach here is very, very rules-based. If this, then that. All right, so it's no secret I want to short this market, but it's also no secret I'm not going to short anymore until the market sends me a signal that this market is breaking down. I'm not seeing that yet. Volume is telling me that. If you take a look at yesterday's volume across the board, whether it be the Tues, small caps, the Russell, the S&P 500, there was no volume. So I'll keep it simple. What we're doing here is we're doing what I believe to be the setup for, and this is certainly not speaking my book. I don't even want to have to say this, but I'm going to say it. It looks as though we have a undercut double bottom here, meaning normally you get a W formation or a double bottom, and you get a higher low on the right side. We didn't get that. And this is not unusual. It happens fairly frequently where you'll take out, the traders will take out, they'll blow out all the stop losses that was set down here. Because you had a bunch of traders thinking, I'm going to be good. I'm going to put a stop loss right below, one tick below the lower low of, let's say, the 27th of January. It's not a bad behavior. It's a good behavior. The problem is that when that alert gets fired off and they're stopped out, all of a sudden the shares bounce back. And while they're in the midst of being confused as heck, of like, what just happened to me here? I did the right thing. Now all of a sudden the shares are ripping higher. They don't understand the mechanics of the market. These traders, they know where the stop losses are. And they're going to blow them out, causing a cascade effect. That way they can jump back in. Note I had an alert set down here. It didn't even hit. It came close, no cigar. They knew there was going to be support down here, meaning traders, and they stepped back in because there were a lot of futures for sale, contracts for sale down here. And sure enough, they ripped it up higher. All pre-planned. So what we could be setting up for you, here's a left shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the right shoulder. What that is an inverted head and shoulders setup. That is what I think maybe, just maybe, setting up here. Let me go to comments. I've been looking at comments. Hey, Sam, good morning to you. Yeah, I read that. Draghi's back, huh? We got Yellen back. They recycle all of these money printers. There was a video trending showing Cramer speaking about how he basically manipulated the market when he used to go down to. There was a story out. One company was having a investors conference in Manhattan, and he had one of his people go down there and start screaming questions. And this is well before The Big Short, when they had that scene in that movie. Start screaming questions because he was short the stock at the CEO or CFO, whoever's speaking, trying to manipulate the shares. Did you see the news about Bezos? Yep, I saw that. Chris, good morning to you. Well, he would have to be interim, right, Sam? He has to be elected, right? Chris, can you take a look at Apple? If we have time, Chris, sure. I got started late today. Sam, so watch for Draghi, and you could see rising euro or a collapse euro. Yeah. Curious about quantum storage. If we have time, we'll go over it, MacArthur. Yeah, I'm working on Amazon. I had a reason why. It was more the reason why I mentioned I wanted to do analysis on Amazon was because of their nefarious behavior regarding Parler and what the cloud storage unit means for their business. So their earnings are out. I'll be able to take a look now at what cloud meant to their earnings. You know, automatically people think they blew out earnings because people stayed at home and they bought stuff. You know, maybe not. You know, who knows? We'll take a look at. I want to see how their cloud storage business did. I mean, Microsoft did very, very well with their cloud storage business, but did it come at the expense of Amazon? I don't know. Maybe it was Fastly it came at the expense of. I don't know, but more to come on that. MJ still looks really good. Yeah, I saw my alert took off yesterday. I'm going to go over MJ this morning. We had a beautiful day yesterday. Paul, good morning. Sheely Manhattan. That's an interesting name. GME's going to go higher today? God bless you. Are you involved with GME? Any thoughts on the banks? Yeah. Well, before I log off, I'm going to go over the banks because I want to check out yields. Banks rose yesterday, well, because of rising yields. Will that continue? I don't know. So while we're on the topic, why don't we take a look at yields? Actually, we're going to take a look at bonds because they matter. I know a lot of people, I go over bonds, they're like, what are you doing talking about these stupid bonds? They're boring. Remember that if you want to be successful in trading, folks, those of you that knew, I'm not being condescending to those that have been doing this a while, but those of you that are new, the bond market is the tail that wags the stock market dog. If you want to know where stocks are going to go, you look at the bond market. Bonds are dropping, yields are rising. That means the banks are probably going to do pretty well today. Let's bring up FAS. Yep. They're moving up higher. Or they're going to move up higher. So I like the FAS. I may sell puts against the FAS to have a position, be long, but not outright buy the shares because I'm worried about the market. Nice higher low here, and we broke out. This is a sloppy line I just drew here, but you get the picture. We broke out. Higher low. This is what I always look for. Higher lows. Here's your pivot point and a breakout above it. Now we're looking for, here's your breakout. Now we need a continuation move higher or a retest. One of the two. All right, let's do some chart requests. Let's see what GME is doing this morning. We'll go through the meme stocks. And for the record, I am not a fan of trading these stocks. I support people's decision to be able to buy stocks, and I denounce the restrictions on people's ability to buy stocks. That's favoritism, and I don't like that. That's not a free market. That is crony capitalism, and I am hugely against that. So, GameStop up this morning. I don't know. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that Robinhood lifted restrictions on these names. So Game is up. I don't know how BlackBerry got mixed in here. BlackBerry doesn't have a huge short interest. But the premiums are beautiful. They're up this morning. What else? AMC. They're up as well. Yeah, these aren't something that I would necessarily play. The thing with AMC is that if you go back to a weekly chart, this is what bothers me about AMC. Here's the stock market correction back during the worst days of COVID. And we're still pretty much at the highs of that trading range during the best of days before they shut, or before they knew they were shutting everything down. Now they have 25% capacity on these theaters. To me, they still look expensive. And I get the point that Wall Street Bets is doing, is that they are trying to make a point. Listen, those Wall Street guys are nefarious, man. I've been doing this for a long, long time. and they will find a way around. What you're going to get out of this is less transparency on short interest, so that way they could short it well, and it's in the end, it's going to work out worse for the average investor because you're going to get less transparency. These guys are going to, you think they work in the dark now? Just wait until what's coming down the pike. So, good luck with it. Be careful. And if you get a profit, don't be ashamed to book a profit. You know, none of these guys are truly looking out for your family. So beware. All right. Let's you can see that I have MJ up here already. And this is TrendSpider. And I'm going to take off the automated trend lines. So we spoke about this one yesterday morning. I was asked about it. I didn't scan for it or anything like that. I was asked about it. I was asked to look at it. And my exact words were, wow. And sure enough, we broke out yesterday. I had an alert that fired off. And I wanted to buy it. I wanted to make sure we closed above the breakout point. But by the time I had an opportunity, because I'm not a day trader, I like to see where stocks trade at the end of the day or close at the end of the day, and then buy. But they had become very extended, and I didn't want to chase. So what's the fallback plan here? What we're going to do here is we're going to get rid of this old alert, which fired off already. And we're going to open up a new one. And I'm going to keep a little bit of sensitivity. And we're going to keep this active for 2 weeks. I want to know if it touches, bounces, and for giggles, if it breaks through, we'll keep this active for trigger twice. That's scenario number one, where I'd want to buy the shares rather than chase the shares. Scenario number two is setting up another alert here at the top of this volume bar, this volume shelf, I should say, at 20.52 per share. Here I'm going to keep less sensitivity because I'm fairly confident we're going to retrace back down to that mark. Touch, bounce. So I would stay small here in the hope that we pull back a bit further. Again, 10 days active. So here we go. MJ, pull back to support. If it fails, we pull back here to 1945, give or take a dime. So these are the two support levels at which I'd want to buy. I'm not going to chase. I don't do that. All right, I'm going to go to take a look at what members have requested. Franklin FPI. Guys, the way it works is that, because I love doing the live streams, but I get so many requests now, and the membership is blowing up, that I need to go to members first. I have a portal which they enter their tickers, and then I go to Super Chats, and then if we have time, I take requests from the audience. So if you're a member your best to put your ticker in the members portal. Enter it there, so that way I know that you're a member, and that way I get to it. Because I'll always stay on as long as possible to go over members' requests. All right, FPI for Franklin. So this is a weekly chart, and it doesn't look bad. It just looks like we're in a consolidation. We're off the highs of the week. 1028 is support. I'd be fine with buying there. Put a stop loss right below the lows of the week prior. What was that low? 10.03. That's a good ways away. So, excuse me. So, I would wait for support here and keep that loss very small if we take out the week's low. And let's go to a daily chart. So they tried to, this is horribly drawn, remove. They tried to break it out yesterday. It was rejected. That's not horrible, but it's not a buy signal either. I would wait for support to get hit at around 1023. Maybe you'll have a little bit of support in here at 1087. That's where we found support yesterday, in fact. And then you could nibble. But ideally down here. That way, there's not a huge distance between where you'd want to stop out and where you got in. And I don't like the raindrop chart from yesterday. Lots of selling at the close. Let's go to seasonality. All right. So February we're up. It's a good period of time to buy the stock. February's up 57% of the time, but it gets really good in March and April to own these shares. They're up over the past 7 years. That's not a lot of data. 67% of the time, but then it drops down in May dramatically. So just be forewarned. That's FPI. JPM. JPM should do well today. This is a monthly chart. We have a wee bit of resistance. Are we above it? Yep, we are. We're above resistance. Weekly chart. We have a breakout and recapture. Week's not over yet. We'll be going over all these charts of the banks anyway. Not necessarily JPM unless it's requested. Tomorrow night on Thursday night, Stock Charts Live on YouTube. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a link below to get alerted as to when we go live. About 15 minutes to a half hour prior to us going live. JPM. Weekly support. Long entry. Okay. So keep it active for the week. So if we pull back and do a retest of 122.45, JPM is a buy, then we can put a stop loss right below. Daily chart. Really good day yesterday, validated by the raindrop charts. Now, the thing to remember here with JPM and the banks is this. Let's go back to 90. Not traditionally the best period of time to own the banks. February is pretty good. Drops down in March. Really, it gets interesting to get long of the banks in June when they're getting beaten up. This goes back 31 years. And July, huge month to the upside. So you get in late June at the trough, sell in July. Great trade. This is the value of seasonality. So it looks good here. Yields are rising. The wind is at its back. The markets may break out. So certainly best of breed. JPM looking pretty good. All right, I have about 2 minutes. We went over GME. MacArthur, what's your favorite symbol, pal? While I'm waiting for that, I'll go over FPI. All right, I already did FPI. Well, that's funny. Oh, Daniel, you weren't requesting it. You were just commenting on it. Gotcha. Good morning, Roy. Apple. All right, we'll leave off with Apple. Apple monthly chart looks pretty good. Last month, not so good. This month, pretty good. You know, it's obviously early in the month. A lot can happen. Weekly chart. Very good here as well. Looks very similar to the monthly chart. Holding support. $130.75 is critical support. Bit of a reversal bar yesterday. It couldn't close above this volume shelf. You know, if you're going to buy it, look for a close above 135.58 or a pullback to at least this volume shelf at 132.53. All right, QMC. Is that CC or CG? CO. Wow, my eyes are going. Quantum Corp. You're welcome, Chris. Monthly chart. It's had a nice run, running into a bit of resistance here. 743, stiff resistance. Weekly chart, same deal here. So the risk reward is not in your favor right now if you look to buy. That changes if we get a breakout and a close above 745 per share. Now take note here that this blue raindrop fired off yesterday. This is raindrop charting. Only TrendSpider has this. This is a mixture of candlestick charting and volume weighted moving average. So when you get a blue candlestick like this, it's an indication of a possible trend reversal. So I'd be very, very careful here with opening up a position. The last time you saw a blue raindrop chart was back here after coming off of a sell-off. We flashed a raindrop chart. That was a sign of a bottom, and we rallied. We have potentially the inverse right now. So I'd be very careful of opening up a new trade here due to the raindrop charts, due to the fact that We are at resistance on both a monthly and weekly basis, not to mention a daily basis. And if we break down below $7 per share, shares are in trouble. So I'm not saying sell them. I'm not saying buy them. I'm very, very neutral on it with a bias to the caution side. Very, very cautious, given the raindrop chart. And with that, folks, I'm going to say, Daniel, PITR, that's the last one for today. If you guys could smash that like button, it helps me out a lot. PLTR. I should have known that. I've gone over this one before. Avoid BB. No, I don't like BB. It can go higher, it can go lower. There's not enough short interest in it to make me excited. It's restricted. From what I understand, they don't even make phones anymore. All right, PLTR, inside bar this week. This month, I should say. We hit support. What the heck just happened here? We hit support. And it held at 30.52. The question is where to from here. A lot of volatility up here. You know, if you're gonna buy this on SPAC, if you're gonna open up a small position, I'd be fine with it. But me personally, I would wait a day or so to see whether or not these support levels hold. Do we overshoot and then rally to close back above $30 and 30 cents per share, or 50 cents per share, 30.50 per share, or do we fail? I don't see a compelling reason to go jumping in right here, right now, buying these shares. I certainly wouldn't short them. You have too much support below. So I would simply just watch this one. I don't think it's going anywhere quickly. So, and I can watch this, it skyrockets today. And it humiliates me. But it wouldn't be the first time. All right, folks. With that, please subscribe, like. Thanks for being here. It's very much appreciated that you spend some time. And hopefully I'll catch you tomorrow night, Thursday night, Stock Charts Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. And I'll talk to you soon. Be well.